Restored Republic via a GCR. Update as of July 23, 2021. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website restoredrepublic.co. Judy note. July 23 is the 203rd day of the year. 3, 6 and 9 have been referred to as keys to the universe. Q has referred to Christmas in July and a McAfee clock countdown that would begin on Friday the 23rd of July 2021. Fleming's military intel contact expected the Tier 4B shotgun start on Friday the 23rd of July when the Olympics started in Tokyo, 6:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday the 23rd of July. Redemption centers have not been shut down and were on alert to be ready at any moment to start exchanges on Friday and over the weekend. That shotgun start would include, not necessarily in this order, payouts and package deliveries to lower-level bondholders, church groups, lower-level F&P, PP, adjudicated settlement recipients and beneficiary accounts, plus Tier 4B notification. RV exchange and redemption procedures. The below protocols were in place with the new quantum banking system, which went into effect on Wednesday, July 20, 2021. The quantum banking system would deliver a secure card through FedEx to your address that would be your own unique card. This card would grant you access to a website where all of your assets were listed. From home using an image, or a serial number you could add any currency that you held, or deposit a check and the system would verify and add that asset to your account. All currencies would be validated that the account owner was the original purchaser. If the account owner entered foreign currency, bonds, that were purchased by another person, it would not be validated. The Safe Link website would be available, especially for those who didn't have an address, or were untraceable. Through setting an appointment through the Safe Link website you could deal directly with the Redemption Center. Those with projects would also redeem through the Redemption Center via use of your personal wealth manager. To receive the higher contract rates you would have to qualify for them by showing that you were willing to put some of your funds into projects. The higher contract rates would not going to be easily given out to anyone without projects. Answers to questions Nick Fleming submitted to the Department of Defense and 10 to 13 military personnel members of the RV GCR Redemption Team today, Thursday the 22nd of July. You would have access from home to your private account in the quantum banking system. You could also choose to use the exchange centers and have further support. You would be sent a card through FedEx that was yours alone to link to your account in the quantum banking system. You'll have a unique code that's only yours, that takes you to your account that shows you everything you own. There were about 8 million cards being sent out. Every person who has bought currency that's on the Wells Fargo and G64 list would be included. A Safe Link website will be included in the instructions you receive when you get your card. People who are homeless can use the Safe Link website to set an appointment and you'll be handed a card the same day you visit the redemption exchange centers. The card becomes active for what's in your account the day it's issued. When you sign the FedEx package, inside the envelope will be the card you must authenticate. The package would include an NDA that must be signed. Once you sign the documents, and do what you're supposed to do by authenticating your card, your account will be active with spendable monies. Once you authenticate this card and have access to your website, you can see what currencies they have listed. If you have currency not showing, you can enter the serial numbers and the system will verify this. If you have additional currencies and you don't want to enter it, you can bring it to the redemption exchange centers and let them manage this for you. A list of all of the currencies that you bought will be in your card, along with a dollar amount. You will be asked to authenticate if that list was correct. You can go to a redemption center and show them your currencies that are not on the list. If you have gifted currencies, they will adjust your account, although that will take time. You could negotiate a special rate by making an appointment at a redemption center and presenting your case. Even if you're not on this list, you can still use the Safe Link to get started and make appointment with the redemption exchange centers. If you have currencies that were given to another person, you can bring your paperwork to the redemption center and they will work this out on your behalf. They are trying to stop the conman from taking your currency, or your ZIM, and not giving it back to you. You have to send this person a cease and desist letter, via email, stating you revoke all rights previously issued. Then, if no reply is received, just bring this letter to the exchange and let them sort it out. The only information you will be able to see is your own. They're going to be more restrictive about getting projects. It's going to take meetings with the people at the redemption exchange centers and delivering your paperwork. You'll meet with a wealth manager connected with the private banking DIV. They will be able to manage this, and only you and the private banking DIB will know about your accounts. Value day has yet to be established. If you've bought currencies to 2 different addresses, just be watching for FedEx, and check both addresses. They're getting signature from each delivery, so it will be known. No one but you can register your card. No one but you has access to your currency account. If you have a house full of family members all with currency, you will all still receive a card. You will all see what you have in your hands. You can also all go to the redemption exchange centers. If you have purchased additional currency, you can still add it to your QFS. Or you can go to the redemption exchange centers. If you have any unusual situation, you can still go to the redemption exchange centers and explain your situation, and they will work it all out. These accounts are going out globally. Nationally and globally, everyone in every participating country will have an account like this and a card. If there was currency that went missing in the mail, Nick has been told it won't be a problem. Any currency you bought will show up in your account. If you already have a private banker at Wells Fargo, you can work with them. A friend and I bought currency together, and we split it. He bought it. I kept half. Just enter this info on your account, where all of your currencies are listed. The address of your redemption center and instructions will come through the SafeLink websites. If you bought currency from any licensed dealer, they have your address. If your address is different, just go down to the redemption center. The ZIM is happening at the same time as the currency exchanges. Today, Thursday the 22nd of July, they began to send out cards. When you receive your card and validate it, you will have immediate access to your account and spendable monies in that account. Mark Z. A couple of large church groups tied to the sovereigns in Tier 3 have been notified to be on standby starting on Friday the 23rd of July. One of my redemption center contacts was told they would be on standby this weekend and needed to be within 2 hours of locations. Restored Republic. Donald J. Trump's re-inauguration is imminent, and his first presidential duty will be to blow the lid off the global pandemic and restore order to a fractured society, a source involved in Trump's deep state purge told Real Raw News. On the evening of his inauguration, Trump will address the nation and reveal that the COVID-19 Delta variant is fictitious, dreamt up by maniacal people who feared losing their stranglehold on a compliant citizenry. July 23rd is the 203rd day of the year. 3, 6 and 9 have been referred to as keys to the universe. Q has referred to Christmas in July and a McAfee clock countdown that would begin on Friday the 23rd of July 2021. Allegedly, John McAfee had his antivirus software installed on most government computers, which gathered all the evil deeds of previous presidents and staff, like Hillary. This 31 terabytes of terrible truth was stored in an encrypted blockchain and distributed via his dollar-whacked cryptocurrency wallet. He said, should he die or be killed, this evidence would be released like a dead man's switch. The final image after he sent to Instagram was a Q, which held an encryption key. Those that knew what to do, unlocked it, and we are counting down to the release. The Restored Republic and Global Currency Reset were military operations. Thus, fake narratives and disinformation were needed in order to allow the White Hats and military to operate efficiently and effectively. They often put out conflicting reports. Interpol, DHS, military RV security teams and special forces were doing a final sweep of checks, cleanup and arrests to clear the path from potential deep state interference. Across the globe, the world was in crises and chaos. Cabal-induced climate change has produced floods, deaths, earthquakes, tsunamis, road and airport damage, killed food sources and disrupted supply channels in a cover-up of international child sex trafficking, 2020 election fraud and the deep state connection to the bioweapon CV virus and vaccine. The mainstream media continued to ignore cyber attacks on banks and businesses across the globe that would lead to a stock market crash and global financial crisis. The media refused to report on deaths caused by CV vaccines, 2020 election fraud, and how the deep state cabal was using HAARP to manipulate weather conditions across the globe to create earthquakes, floods and tsunamis, setting the stage for worldwide gas and food shortage crises. Massive floods across Europe, China and the Middle East were affecting nuclear plant leaks and power outages. China's Three Gorges Dam has been permanently damaged. It housed Bitcoin, Big Pharma, child sex trafficking and adrenochrome production and was connected by deep underground tunnels to the Wuhan lab, creator of the CV-19 virus and vaccinations. Wars and rumors of wars were apparent across the globe. The military has raised 2 DEFCON-level alerts. CENTCOM and AFRICOM, due to recent airstrikes in those regions. Revolutions against socialist governments were going on in Cuba and France. Worldwide crises events were expected to soon require activation of an emergency broadcast system that would combine with over 50,000 mass arrests of mainly child sex political and global elite perpetrators and coincide with release of the RV. Thursday the 22nd of July 2021. The big call, Bruce. Most sources agreed that Tier 4B would get started over the weekend. Yesterday WED 21 around 11 to 12 noon July bondholders were paid out. Exchanges redemptions would be done through a secured website, 800-S and appointments at redemption centers. B. Thursday the 22nd of July. The real news on Telegram. Q. The Storm Rider. Inside the Storm. _HARP, floods, storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, droughts. _tectonic weapons. Earthquake, volcanoes, tsunamis. _DEW. Direct energy weapons. Highly focused energy laser, microwave and beam particle weapon greater than fires less than. _kinetic weapons, rods of God. Kinetic energy bomb from satellites. _bioweapons equals SARS. COVID-19 Delta 5. _vaccines equals bioweapon. _4 RTH generation warfare, create gray zones equals. Riots, race wars greater than civil unrest. _world cyber attacks food, gas, goods. Than create civil unrest. _nuclear. Mass fires incoming less than more than usual. Past 4 years grew, greater than Sweden, greater than Russian, greater than Austria, greater than Germany, greater than France, greater than US, greater than Australia. Greater than South America, greater than Canada, greater than, blame climate change, greater than floods, greater than chaos. Distribution lines and highways. Greater than, blame climate change, greater than earthquakes, greater than watch the water, less than greater than world protest, greater than riot, civil unrest. Next stages. China. Iran. Russia. US and K. Greater than over 60 countries have black market nukes. Greater than scare necessary _event, buckle up, greater than Putin getting ready to play cards. We are all looking forward to the end of this madness, less than stay strong patriots. China. Tornadoes. UK. BBC breaking news. Major websites including HSBC Bank, British Airways and PlayStation Network hit by global outage. bbc.in/3 Kamskva. Germany. Just in, many news websites are offline in Germany, including the largest newspaper Bild. Holland. Dutch banking, news websites down as part of global disruption. US. East Coast experiences internet loss all morning. Many major websites go offline in widespread internet outage as Akamai is reportedly experiencing an ongoing DNS issue. Worldwide. Update. Major websites are offline worldwide, not just in Germany. Major internet outage. Multiple websites have gone offline including Delta Airlines, British Airways, Amazon and AT&T and dozens more. Most of the commercial segment of the internet in the US has stopped working due to Akamai experiencing an ongoing DNS issue. Early reports indicate 24 OA websites are down. Breaking. United States. Several communication, financial, and transportation software outages reported through America. Outages being reported include AT&T, 911 System, US Bank, Chase Bank, Discover, Capital One, American Express, UPS, Southwest Airlines, Linwood. With no legal right in America, the CIA Mockingbird media have been brainwashing us for 70+ years. People need to see it. They need to experience it. America the Republic. 1871 America borrowed money from the Rothschilds. 1910–1911 America couldn't pay our bills and they took over our banking systems. We need to go back to the gold standard. John D. Rockefeller formed the American Medical Association and labeled naturalist doctors were quacks. The pharmaceutical industry is evil. Donald Trump is still the president for the United States of America. You don't impeach a president to get him out of office after he lost. They tried to impeach him because they know what's going on. Watch his rallies. Look at the Secret Service protection he has. That's the protection given to sitting president of the United States of America. Boom. Trust the plan. Q is real. I stand with Q. Q doesn't like pedophilia, I don't either. Q doesn't like child sex trafficking, I don't either. We won't see when Jesus comes, but he's coming. Walk by faith, not by sight. Walk by faith until we are given sight. The military swore an oath to defend the Constitution and the people. They will do their job. Wed. Evening the 21st of July, something big is coming. All the right people are scared. Very scared. ... Incoming. Epstein 98% watch the water. 29 hours. Panic. John McAfee. Circa 2020 election fraud. Breaking. Dominion voting machines just got decertified following audit update. Pennsylvania decertifies county's voting system, cites violation of election code. General Flynn. Continuing with preliminary results from Maricopa County, Arizona. Election fraud is no longer a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy. Dr. David Clements and Seth Keshel analyze election data for each U.S. state and create a strategy for those who are interested in an individual plan of forensic technical checks. According to their data, in Texas, Trump defeated Joe Biden by 52% to 46.5% in 2020. Trump 5,890,347, 52.1%. Biden 5,259,126, 46.5%. The acting Secretary of State, a Democrat from Pennsylvania, canceled the certification of voting machines, which was supposed to happen after a software audit. D. Food shortages. Why we are experiencing food shortages. UK. How NHS app PINGDEMIC chaos is bringing Britain to a grinding halt. Supermarkets and petrol stations have been forced to shut due to staff shortages caused by the pandemic. Amid warnings 20% of workers could be isolating in less than a month. Lorry driver complains of pumps running dry at BP petrol stations due to delays in fuel deliveries. Head of NHS providers says ambulance and acute hospital trusts are now under extreme pressure. Meat industry body CEO warns that food supply chains are starting to fail. Meat industry body CEO warns that food supply chains are starting to fail. Floods. Italy. Heavy floods hit Italy. Manila. Residents of Manila, Philippines, line up in the rain on a flooded street, waiting for an experimental injection from COVID-19 near the San Andres Sports Complex. Ukraine. Heavy storms bombarded Ukraine overnight, 2 people reported dead. Watch as the port town of Odessa is flooded. China. Miles Guo claims that a PLA/CCP military underground base was flooded in Zhengzhou, Henan Province. Tunnels were being flooded throughout China. Turkey. Heavy floods in northeastern Turkey reported via insider paper. New, heavy downpours trigger severe flooding in Turkey's Black Sea region. UK. UK thunderstorms mapped and when heavens could open amid weather warning. Somerset live thunderstorms mapped amid 48-hour rain and flood warning. Thunderstorms will be a constant threat on Saturday. War. Breaking. Russia has already deployed its main battle tanks on the Afghanistan-Tajikistan border. In the next few days fighter jets are expected to be deployed. The Russian Air Force launched an airstrike on the militants in the area of Al-Bara in Syrian province of Idlib. Breaking. USAF conducts airstrikes targeting Taliban fighters on the outskirts of Kandahar, Arghandab and Sahi Walikot. UK Carrier Strike Group starts naval drills with Indian Navy. The UK's Carrier Strike Group 2021, led by HMS Queen Elizabeth, has met up with the Indian Navy in the Bay of Bengal, for 3 days of complex maritime interactions. Nasara, Ivanka Trump. Let us consider what happened with the creation of the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, NASARA. The act was passed by the United States Congress on March 9, 2000 and then sent to President Bill Clinton for his signature. President Clinton signed NASARA into law on October 10, 2000. At that point Nasara, as with any legislation so acted upon, became a law of the land? But wait a minute. No one wanted to enforce it. Why? No one wanted to enforce Nasara because this law required the physical and permanent removal from their government positions of all those who were treasonous. Those who had deliberately acted outside the Constitution of the Republic had committed treason. Those who were treasonous included the United States President and Vice President, the Presidential Cabinet, all members of Congress, various government departmental heads, all 50 governors of the 50 states, judges and others. You ask, why? Why would the United States Congress ever pass a law that would, upon enactment, instantly remove them from public office? On March 9, 2000, in a secret joint session of Congress with the walls of the House chambers lined with Navy SEALs and Delta Force, the United States Congress passed the Nasara law unanimously at gunpoint under the threat of death. They passed the law knowing full well that there was a plan already in place to forever delay Nasara from being enforced. You ask, why would our president ever sign a bill and create a law that would remove him, his vice president and his cabinet from public office the moment he signed it? In the Oval Office on October 10, 2000, President Bill Clinton, surrounded by special forces, at gunpoint signed the Nasara bill into law, knowing full well that the Illuminati were in charge, and that this law was never to be enforced. The real story of Benghazi. Ambassador Stevens was sent to Benghazi to secretly retrieve US-made Stinger missiles that the State Department had supplied to Ansar al-Sharia in Libya without congressional oversight or permission. State Hillary Clinton had brokered the Libya deal through Ambassador Stevens and a private arms dealer named Mark Turi, but some of the shoulder-fired Stinger missiles ended up in Afghanistan where they were used against our own military. On July 25, 2012, a US Chinook helicopter was downed by one of them. Not destroyed only because the idiot Taliban didn't arm the missile. The helicopter didn't explode, but it had to land and an ordnance team recovered the missile's serial number, which led back to a cache of Stinger missiles kept in Qatar by the CIA. Obama and Hillary were in full panic mode, so Ambassador Stevens was sent to Benghazi to retrieve the rest of the Stinger missiles. This was a do-or-die mission, which explains the stand-down orders given to multiple rescue teams during the siege of the U.S. Embassy. It was the State Department, not the CIA, that supplied the Stinger missiles to our sworn enemies because General Petraeus at CIA would not approve supplying the deadly missiles due to their potential use against commercial aircraft. So then, Obama threw General Petraeus under the bus when he refused to testify in support of Obama's phony claim of a spontaneous uprising caused by a YouTube video that insulted Muslims. Obama and Hillary committed treason. This is what the investigation is all about. Why she had a private server, in order to delete the digital evidence, and why Obama, 2 weeks after the attack, told the UN that the attack was the result of the YouTube video, even though everyone knew it was not. Furthermore, the Taliban knew that the administration had aided and abetted the enemy without congressional oversight or permission, so they began pressuring, blackmailing, the Obama administration to release 5 Taliban generals being held at Guantanamo. Bowie Bergdahl was just a useful pawn used to cover the release of the Taliban generals. Everyone knew Bergdahl was a traitor, but Obama used Bergdahl's exchange for the 5 Taliban generals to cover that Obama was being coerced by the Taliban about the unauthorized Stinger missile deal. So we have a traitor as POTUS that is not only corrupt, but compromised, as well in a sec of state that is a serial liar, who perjured herself multiple times at the congressional hearings on Benghazi. Perhaps this is why no military aircraft were called upon for help in Benghazi. Because the administration knew that our enemies had Stinger missiles that, if used to down those planes, would likely be traced back to the CIA cache in Qatar and then to the State Department's illegitimate arms deal in Libya. International child sex trafficking. Coca-Cola's secret formula scam documentary still contains cocaine and cancer poison. A never-ending story of exploitation, greed, lies, cover-ups and complicity in kidnapping, torture, murder and other gross human rights abuses. #BREAKING, 78 missing children found in New Mexico. American producer Harvey Weinstein pleaded not guilty to 11 charges of rape and sexual harassment at a court hearing in Los Angeles in the case of the rape of 5 women, whose identities were not disclosed. He was accused of 11 more cases of sexual violence committed in 2004 to 2013 in hotels in Beverly Hills and Los Angeles. If the producer is found guilty, he will receive a sentence of 140 years in prison. Heartbreaking